You're now tuned into the Shoot for Teams podcast with your favorite guys, Dorian and Kyle.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Shoot for Teams podcast. It's your main man, D Hill, the gift card bandit.
Old man Ross, of course, sweatsuits and fly kicks in the building.
Yo, we back for another prediction episode. This time it's the NBA round 2. Some intriguing matchups. I'll take the West. Kyle's going to take the East. So let's just jump right into it.
Yes, sir. All right. First, we got Miami Heat against the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, this is going to be an interesting matchup, I think. Jimmy Butler playing his old team. So, deep down inside, he feels some type of way about some of those guys. Nothing personal, but I mean, just the competitive feel that Jimmy has.
Right.
I know Joel did get injured. He'll be back sometime in this series. It's up to James Harden, man. I mean, everybody's been talking about it. This is James' time to shine. This is a time to step up. If he could step up for this series, man, and just produce like he does in the regular season, I don't think people will be on his head as much. Pause,
True.
And Doc got to make some adjustments. I know he kind of got sensitive from the last series, and it looked like they were getting ready to be out again after they were up 3-0, but they closed out Toronto. But my personal opinion, I like Miami, man. I like Jimmy Butler. We talk about the dog pound, or the kennel, what you call him.
Yeah.
And I like Tyler Hero, of course. Mr. Swag himself, Bam, Duncan Robinson. I know Kyle Lowry is in and out of the lineup, but he's been inconsistent with playing anyway for the whole season. So they're used to it, man. They got your boy Gabe Vincent, and a bunch of solid D-League, G-League, second-round guys that are hungry. So I have this series going. I got to go with 6. I think, like I said, Joel will return, and his presence and impact, he'll probably be able to get some games. So I got them going at 6. The Heat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same with the Heat as well with the prediction. I think it'll probably be a 6-game series as well, but I think it all depends on when and if Joel comes back, because, he's been their bread and butter this whole season. Yeah, they got James Harden, but we all know how James is in pressure situations in the playoffs. He hasn't produced, like you said, but if somehow he can produce and play to the level of a James Harden in the regular season, that'll be a big boost for them. I also think that Miami, I don't know, their defense they're just, I don't know, their team is just like get in your face, and I don't know how the guys at Philly will react to that, just because, Jimmy, we know Jimmy's going to have them guys ready to go. I think, Bam, the Bam and B matchup, I think that'll be a good thing to watch. But if they can slow down the bench of Miami, which is going to be tough, they might have a shot, but I just think Miami's too much for them right now, man. They got too many pieces, and then they're all on the same page.
Right.
I'm not saying that Philly isn't on the same page, but I just think as far as a more cohesive group, Miami is that team, and I'm rooting for them to win because, James is not my favorite, and Doc is not my favorite either.
So you got 2 non-favorites on one team.
Yeah, so
you like Joel, though.
I like Joel. I've always liked Joel.
I had an issue with him in the beginning. Yeah. You've always liked him, and we like the $1 million man too. If he could step up for them, Tobias. Max is a stud. Out there smiling like the Joker from ear to ear. He's young, so to put that pressure on him will be a lot. But they got a squad now. They
do. They got shooters. I mean, they got all the correct pieces. It's just James is the X factor for me. Like if he can play to the level of like a Houston Rockets James Harden, even though I know that's a couple years ago, but if he can play to that level, while Joel is out, it'll make the series more interesting. But Miami will have something for them.
And you got it going
6. I'm gonna stay with it. It's 6 games.
6 games.
I was gonna say 5, but I'm not gonna disrespect Joel like that.
Yeah, don't 5. And because everybody thought the first. Listen, we're gonna go to this next matchup, but Brooklyn.
We didn't have that. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that coming. Just like we'll talk about it later. Just like another matchup, nobody saw that either.
Okay. All right. So staying in the East, we got the Celtics, Boston Celtics against the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is a stud. He's a cheat code. He's all world. I mean, you can't say anything about him. My guy Chris Middleton is out. I don't know for how long. That is a big piece of their squad. I know Grayson Allen, the tripper, he's been playing well for them. Duke's finest. Drew Holiday is, we always say, underrated, one of the best defenders. And, the Lopez is there. Our boy Big Eye, Bobby Portis is there. Yeah. They have a team. They're a well-oiled machine. But I think the Celtics playing the way that they did and what they did to Brooklyn, if they can play defense and make Giannis uncomfortable, I think the Celtics can move on, man. They're going to do it for the little leprechaun. And if Tatum can keep playing like he's been playing, Jaylen Brown, and you know how I love Marcus Smart, all defense, all flop, he's going to do whatever he needs. He's been shooting well for them. And Tice is there, of course. Robert Williams is back. I have this series going 7. But I have the Celtics. And don't be mad at me.
No, I got you.
Giannis and everybody. But I got the Celtics. If they can play like they did in the first round against Brooklyn, they did my boy KD so bad. I got this going 7, and I got the Celtics moving on to the conference finals.
Okay. I got a different opinion. I think the Bucks will win in 6 games.
Okay.
The only reason why I say that is because looking at game 1, the Bucks they're just bigger. They're a bigger, more physical team. I think that by them crowding the paint and forcing the Celtics forcing the Celtics to shoot jumpers. And when they drive in, you got Brook Lopez in there. You got Bobby Portis down there. You got Giannis down there. They're going to meet them at the rim every time. So they're going to let people like Peyton Pritchard shoot. They're going to let Jason Tatum. They're going to let Jaylen Brown shoot. Not saying that they're not going to make these shots, which they probably will the next game. They had a really off first game, but I think just them being so big and physical is going to be a problem for them. And I think the Celtics are going to try to do the same defensive strategy that they did against KD, which is run a lot of people at Giannis. But Giannis is a different kind of player. I think he has a little bit better court vision as far as like throwing passes out of the double team. And, he has better shooters on his team as well, too. So
I agree with that.
That's gonna hurt them a little bit because Giannis has been seeing triple teams all season, and he's able to kick it out to like Pat Connaughton and Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis, Drew Holiday, just to name a few. And then if Middleton comes back, he's another sniper out there. So
it's a different story if Middleton plays the series.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I do think the Celtics will make it a good series for sure because their defense is, clicking. If Marcus Smart can stay healthy, I think that'll be a big issue as well.
Agreed.
They just got to make shots. If they can make shots, then they'll make it more competitive, but it's going to be hard to stop Giannis. He's like a locomotive, man. Like, it's hard to stop that dude.
No,
it's going to be tough. But I think Udoka will make some adjustments going into the rest of the season series, and it'll be competitive. But I think the Bucks will be too much. They already know what it takes to get to the finals, and the Celtics are still young. I know they're hungry. They put what they could do on display in that first round, shocking everybody by sweeping the Nets. But yeah, this one is going to be a little more challenging. So I got the Bucks in 6.
And I will say this, and we could be done with this one. The Chicago you mentioned,
yeah,
I just think it was bad for them after the second half of the season. Injuries just took over for them. I mean, Lonzo didn't really play that much. He was inconsistent, but your boy couldn't stay in. Levine and DeMar probably started getting tired because he was putting the ball in 40 pieces and still had a career year for him in numbers, but they injuries hurt them at the wrong time, and they took a lot of bad losses. And I think going into the playoffs, being matched up with Milwaukee, it just was tough. And then Levine got. Then it was a COVID protocol, and then Alex Caruso was hurt, and our boy Vucevic, she couldn't. It just stuff happens. But I think that I think the Bulls have some potential there for next year. And you had mentioned Brooklyn. I think that was the same with them. They just it was a circus over there. Kev was out, Kyrie was out, then the big trade with James, and then Ben Simmons didn't play, and it was a lot.
I think we've seen in the NBA, like, you can put all the talent together, but you have to be able to have that cohesion and like playing together, getting a rhythm. Like, they're all professionals, but like it's hard to come in like when you haven't played for like 15 games and just like insert yourself in that offense. Like, it's different because guys are used to you not being there, and then you coming in, doing your thing, and it's different. Like, and that was a big key, I think, for both of those teams, Chicago and the Nets, mainly the Nets, because they never had the pieces this whole season, and it was just a circus, the Brooklyn circus.
Yeah, pretty much coming to a city near you, the Brooklyn circus,
for sure.
So.
All right, so now we're going to slide out west to, let's start off with the Grizz Warrior series, the series I'm most excited to watch.
Okay. All right.
We got a young team, young talented team in the Memphis Grizzlies with their two-headed monster, John Morant, Jaren Jackson. All right, you can even say three-headed monster. You can put Desmond Bane in there too, or you can interchange that with Dylan Brooks as well. But they're going up against, the Golden State Warriors, who seem to have found their rhythm again. Yeah. They do have a big three, but you can also say they have a big four now with the pool party going on out there. Jordan Poole has, during this playoffs and even in the season, has been playing at an unbelievable level. I think just being around Steph and Clay and Draymond has allowed his confidence to grow, and he can shoot that thing. And, he's not one-dimensional either. Like, he takes that thing to the hoop, not afraid of the big moment, not afraid of the big shot. And he's pretty much like the third Splash brother now. I mean, it's crazy to see his maturity. It's crazy. So for this series, man, this is gonna be a tough one. Man. I love watching the Warriors play just because of the style of play. Like, everybody shares the ball. Like, there's no kind of ego on that team. When your superstar and Steph comes off the bench in the first round and is like doing whatever he has to do for his team, that says a lot about the character of him and, his team. Like, he's able to just come in and they just start clicking. Like, and it's good to see Clay back, man, not having Clay out there for 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, 2 seasons.
2 seasons, yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy that it was 2 seasons that he didn't play, but to see him back and hitting threes like usual, it's been good to see. Draymond is going to be Draymond. So, but I'm I'm gonna stick with the young guys because I want to see something different. I love the way Ja has been playing. My only knock is we talked about this yesterday through text, but I just feel like for them to be successful in the series, he needs to be more controlled and precise with his shot selection. His drives to the basket need to be a little bit more under control. I think sometimes he gets up in the air and he knows he's so more athletic than anybody, so he tries to do all this, razzle dazzle. Sometimes it looks good when he makes it, but when he doesn't, it's like, ooh, bruh, like chill.
Yeah.
And if Jaren could hit his jumpers like he was, and stay on the floor, because in that Minnesota series he was in foul trouble the whole time, so he wasn't effective. So if they could do that. I love that they, throwing big bodies at Steph. I think teams need to be a little bit more physical with them because I think a lot of teams give them, the Warriors, so much respect and not play physical with them. I think if Memphis, which they can, play physical with Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, it might throw their game off a little bit. Like, give them a little bit of that Draymond medicine. Like, get that right back to them. See what happens. But, yeah, I got Memphis winning the series. I'm going to go 7 games.
Ooh.
Only selfishly again.
Okay.
I think even though Golden State stole home court advantage, if Memphis can somehow get 2 in a row and get that home court back, I think it'll be a big game for them. Game 7 at the house with his dad running on the sideline.
Man.
And all the rappers in Memphis on the sideline.
I saw that Juicy J was out there and Yo Gotti and
man.
I saw Zach Randolph. I was like, man, who is this young guy that looks like Usher? Like, I know he's getting all this crazy airtime. Yeah. And I'm like, Ja's dad is the new Drake, but in a good way, because you like to see parents supporting their kids, and he's smiling and having fun, and it's nothing malicious. He's not out there disrespecting anybody. I remember when we were going to the Laker games, and AI's mom used to have a flag. And she had a bedazzled jersey. She'd be running down it's more love and support. There's no malicious, you know what I mean? You made all valid points about the Grizz, man. I think that they're a young, scary team. If they can continue to be consistent and hit shots. We mentioned Ja. One thing also, just having to stay off the floor because he'll tear his body up. And that's what happened to AI. That's what happened to you mentioned
D-Rose,
D-Wade. It starts to take a toll. So if he could stay off the floor being like knocked down, I think his career, he'll be okay. I love Draymond. I think it was unfair how they did him, but
that was bogus, bro. That was bogus.
I could see if Draymond let him hit the ground, hit his face, but he did. He hit him in the face, and then he tried to protect him. I get it at the end, but Draymond gets a bad rap like Boogie and like Rasheed and Dick and Dennis Rodman. Anyway, Jordan Poole, that's your guy. Scary out there hitting. The third splash brother. Then we got Jackie Moon, Klay Thompson out there hitting. Klay is back, feeling good.
He back.
And then you talk about Steph. But I think in this series, none of those guys will be the factor. It'll be Andrew Wiggins.
Ooh.
If Wiggs could just do little things like a Harrison Barnes did, Iguodala did for them, he could be the factor. Because everything you mentioned, of course, the attention is on those guys. Yeah. Those 4 guys. They knew getting Draymond out of the game, they had a chance to win, and they almost did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if Wiggs can do the little things, make his free throws, just play good defense and hit the open shot, Warriors got this in 6.
Wow.
Warriors got this in 6. You mentioned Steve Kerr and the culture that they have as far as Steph coming off the bench and being unselfish. That's the team you want to play for.
It's true. It's true.
Because it builds confidence in all those players. Jordan Poole, his confidence, the swag was high already. But now that he's hitting shots, he's playing.
Yep.
Steph said, no, keep playing. I'll come off the bench. You know, it helps those guys. You have a lot of guys, Looney and those guys that come off the bench. They don't mind coming in for 10 minutes, fouling somebody, doing what they need to do just to get the win. So, you know, I think Memphis is young, and I think they're talented, and I don't think they're going anywhere.
Nah.
Shout out to Ja and, like you said, all the rappers and everybody. But they might not be going back to Memphis for Game 7. Juicy J and them, you don't have to worry about it. You guys, you know what I mean? Project Pat and all that. You guys don't have to worry about that because Game 6 is going to be at the Chase Center in San Francisco. E40 will be out there, keep the sneak, and then they just end it. So I got the Warriors in 6. You got the Grizz in 7. I love it. More basketball. We love it.
Man, as long as we don't have no sweeps, I'm good.
I don't think it's going to be a sweep.
I don't think in any of these series is going to be a sweep. I mean,
we would hope not.
Right. I mean, I think I can't even say that. I was going to say, if anything, it might be this next series, Suns versus Mavs. But the way Luka's playing, I'm just saying.
You heard him. We got the Dallas Blue on today. You heard him. Talking about Luka's sweet.
Before we get into that, I will congratulate this guy over here. He said the Mavericks are going to win this series, and I laughed at him. A lot of people on social media were hitting us up about it.
Yes, they were. And I got all your messages.
Kyle saw something we didn't see. Luka came back a tad early.
He did.
Brunson played out of this world.
I didn't see that one.
No, I don't think anybody saw that coming. So now the Mavericks go into this next series against the Suns, who I don't want to say they struggled, but they were in a dogfight with the New Orleans Pelicans, which nobody saw that coming. People just automatically thought that was going to be either a 4 or 5 game series, and Brandon Ingram and them was like, nah, bro, we here. They almost could have forced a Game 7.
True.
But, I think the youth and inexperience kind of hampered them in that. And they couldn't stop freaking Chris Paul from getting to his spots. Like, you know where he going to go.
It's in hard.
No, I'm just saying, like, it was a historic game for him. First player to ever go perfect from the field, 14 for 14. But it's just like, bro, he went to every spot he wants to get to, and he got there. So,
and before that opened the floor, I think, when Devin Booker came back, because they know how crazy Devin is.
Yeah, and
so they tried to space the floor, and Chris took advantage of that. IQ, what did Charles say? The best leader in basketball, and Chris was on one. He knew the pressure was getting to him too in the playoffs.
Yeah,
his track record is not the greatest, and he stepped up and he did what he was supposed to do. And hopefully James Harden will do something like this for that series. But go ahead. You're right about the Pelicans, though.
Right. So we got Suns versus the Mavericks. It's going to be another good series. Mm-hmm. I think if Phoenix can get back to how they were playing toward the end of the regular season, I don't see them Jason Kidd having the same game plan as he did in Utah. That's going to be different. That's going to be out the window. Right. DeAndre Ayton is the key to this whole thing. He is not Rudy Gobert, so they're not going to be able to do that.
Bum.
So I think, if DeAndre Ayton can play to the level he's been playing at, it's going to be a problem. I think that this will be a quick series. I'm going to say Suns in 5.
The disrespect.
I mean, I'm just saying the only reason why the Mavericks won that last series is because Rudy Gobert stinks. Like, he can't do anything when there's a small, like when the team goes small ball, the Clippers exposed that last year. Jason Kidd just exposed it even further this year. And now he, whatever. I don't even want to go down that road with him, but I think it's just going to be a different series. The Suns have better shooters. The Suns are fast, up tempo, and it's our guy Monty. And I want to see Book get back to the chip and have a chance again. So, I mean, it's a lot I could go down, but I'm gonna just keep it simple and say that DeAndre Ayton is gonna be the key.
I like that. Keep it simple. That's your hashtag.
Yes, sir.
I got the Dallas Blue. Okay.
Here we go.
There's no need, people, to sugarcoat nothing. I'm on the Luka train. I got a one-way ticket. We're going to the conference finals. Okay. Shout out to Monty, CP3, Devin Booker, the rest of those young, talented brothers. Luka, Boban. We're going to the Western Conference Finals in 6 games.
6 games?
Yeah. It's not even going 7.
Wow.
Luka's healthy now. Got rid of the trash Jazz. Shout out to Donovan and Jordan Clarkson, please. Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, you got to get out of there. Donovan, you got to get out of there, man, because you just got to go. Go to a team that is going to utilize you if you can stay healthy. And I think you keep getting hurt because you got so much on your plate.
Yeah.
So just get out of Utah.
Rudy, big ass.
Man, get out. The jersey don't even look right on you. Get out of there.
Please.
You can go to the Knicks or where. We'll have a podcast about that. But we got the Mavericks. Jason Kidd, we're going to make the adjustments. You see, I said we because I feel like
you are part of the team now that you selected them last.
Yeah. So they sent me a 10-day, but I can't because I got other things I got to do. We are going to the Western Conference Finals. Phoenix. It'll be a tough one. We just got to lock in. Just control CP3. Aiden is definitely going to be a key piece.
Yeah.
So I know they're going to switch off with a lot of their bigs. Boban is definitely too slow.
He's not going to play at all this series. I'm just saying he's going to be a liability out there. I'm just saying.
But the guard, I think the guard play from my aspect will be the factor for the Mavs to win.
Brunson.
Luka and Brunson have to stay consistent. And I know they're figuring it out. Luka kind of did come in and mess up Brunson's party because, Brunson had to give the ball up. But I think if they can match Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they got a good chance. They got a real good chance. Dorian is going to yourself. You're going to be out there hitting Dorian, Finney Smith, and just other role guys that they have. If they can come in and get them a couple buckets here, stay out of foul trouble, make it difficult for Chris and Devin and Aiden and Shamit. They got a squad. You're right.
They do.
And Cameron Johnson. And Cameron Payne. They got a squad.
Jay Crowder.
Oh, man, my guy.
My boy, Mikal Bridges.
Oh, man. I don't like this. Now that I start talking about my pick, I don't like it. You just keep naming people. But, like I said, man, I'm going on the Luka Express, and we're going to ride this thing out, pause. And I'm excited for the Mavericks. I'm really excited that they passed Dallas and then Luka is in. He finally got to the second round and he's healthy because he was hurt the last year. He got hurt. The year before that in the bubble, he got hurt. So I'm happy for him. And everybody knew I was picking Luka. Man,
I mean, it's gonna be good. Like you said, I'm excited for Luka to get into the second round. I think it's good for basketball to have as many superstars as you can in the playoffs because it just makes it a lot more fun. Not saying that, a team without superstars isn't fun to watch, but it's just better when there's star power. Yeah. Like in Luka, you never know what that dude gonna do, man.
But you can't stop it.
Yeah, like I watch in amazement every time I watch him, like,
Yeah.
dude, is slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna hit you with that dribble step back three
Mm-hmm.
or that slow drive to the basket, and you can't do nothing about it. It's crazy.
I think it's actually a European thing,
Yeah.
or overseas thing, because one of my favorite players, the Joker, slow mo, no athleticism, not a muscle in sight, but will beat you bad. He had a chance against the Warriors, but I mean they just didn't have enough players, you know.
Yeah, facts.
But Luka's the same. Luka's the same. So,
yeah.
Before we get out of here, we mentioned Joker and a few six men, MVP candidates. Who do you have for the six man? Is it just hands down?
Easy.
Okay, and that would be
Tyler Hero.
Okay.
I think what he's done in Miami, he backed up his trash talk that, you know, he should be mentioned up there with Luka and Trey. He's just on a better team than both of them. And, you know, he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as both of those guys do. So, but when he's in there, he's been an impact player all season. He's been consistent this year. I kind of think he kind of tapered off the trash talk and just let his game do the talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think he kind of humbled himself and just got to work, and it showed this whole season. So I think hands down, Tyler Hero.
And I don't know, you have to obviously play so many games, you can't start.
Yeah.
At first I was like Jordan Poole could have been in there, and Jalen Brunson and a few of the guys, but I think if you start too many games, then you're eliminated. I know Jordan Poole's played a lot, but I agree. Tyler Hero, we talked about him when we did our predictions at the top of the season.
Yep.
And, you know, I think he kind of checked his swag at the door, and he just let the play speak for itself, and that's what you're supposed to do. So should be good. I think he'll
check I like it. Check your swag at the door.
You gotta check it at the door, man. And then MVP, they had mentioned Embiid, they had mentioned the Joker, they had mentioned Giannis. You could throw LeBron in there, but I think it was those three that they narrowed it down to.
Yeah.
Is it just a cold sweep for you as far as who you picking, or were you going back and forth?
I mean, I think this one is a harder one to select, but I'm just gonna stick with my guy Joel. Like, I think what he's done this season is unbelievable. He stayed healthy this whole year. I mean, until up to recently, but he was playing at a ridiculous level all season long. Not saying that the Joker didn't play at a ridiculous level all season long. It could be argued that he should get it too. But I'll let you speak on that. But yeah, I think Joel, he's been in a running for how many years? And
I think it's the last 2 or 3.
Man, like, and he been getting the shaft. So I think this year they should give it to him. I wouldn't be mad if they did a joint MVP, which they probably won't. But
we always.
I think Joel should get it, man. Like, the work that he's put in over the years, and just the level that he's been playing at, it's just been unbelievable. I love watching that dude play. Like, a big man with that skill set is ridiculous.
It's scary. It's gotten better. It's scary. You saw it early, but it's on a whole nother level now.
The reason, I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but the reason that I've always been such a big fan of his is because he reminds me of like Akeem Olajuwon 2.0. Like, the way he moves, the way he shoots, and just he's so like nimble. Like, he plays like a guard, but in a big body. And like, that was one of the reasons why I love Hakeem.
That makes sense now. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Joel's kind of the same for me.
Before I wanted to shout out Giannis. I think it's unfair that they put Giannis in the LeBron box now, and I think that the world just takes his talent for granted. And if his team is really good, it goes unnoticed. And then you look at the numbers and you're like, damn, Giannis is killing. And he plays both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
You know, he could get defensive player or get a nod, or it's unfair. If they wanted to give it to Giannis or LeBron or KD, or certain guys, not this year. I'm sorry, I apologize. Not this year. They could definitely put those guys in the Joel is the same, and then the Joker. But for me, I agree with you 100%. And we talked about Joel on our prediction show. And we had picked him, and he deserves it. No question. My only thing would be with the Joker, who I would say deserves it, is he doesn't have as much help. He didn't have as much help, consistent help. Mm-hmm. Michael Porter Jr., I don't know how many games he played, but wasn't a lot. Jamal Murray never came back. And so the Joker, what he had, he tried to, Will the Thrill we know was out there. He tried to do the best that he could with Uncle Jeff and the rest of those guys. Joker was he was top 10 in every category in the NBA this year, you know, and he also had a stat that nobody else has ever done in NBA history. So I would say give it to Joker, but I actually like what you said, and it's like, well, damn, Joel was balling too. It was a fiasco in Philly, he was playing with just him and Tobias and Maxey. Then they got James at the end of the season. I would do Cole. I know people are going, no, this and that. But both of those brothers and their brothers were working hard all season with what they had and did it through the whole season and then into the playoffs. With the Joker, you saw he tried to do the best he could with Golden State, and it was just he ran out of. The man got thrown out. I don't know the last time it was a level of frustration. It just built up. It built up, and the man lost it. I
ain't seen him losing since he got into that skirmish with one of the Moores twins.
Right,
was that last year?
Yeah, and that was another. I think it was at the beginning of the season.
Oh, it just seems so long ago. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I don't. The way that he did it, that was another thing where I don't think it was totally. It was wrong. No, but I don't think he was planning to try to hurt that man and have him for half the season or anyway. But I just saw the Joker's look of defeat against the Warriors because we mentioned in the last segment, the well-oiled machine. And, it's unfortunate that they came up short, but they'll be back next year once all their guys, their core guys come back. They'll be good. They'll be back in the playoffs. But I'm picking Joker, but Joel, who I've not really been a fan of until the last couple years, it's nothing but respect. And if he gets it, then it's well deserved. He really deserves it. It's not like, they gave it to him. He deserves it because as a big man, like you mentioned, is so fluent. And you can see the work that he's put in since he got to Philly to now. It's a totally different player. He's slimmed down. He seems more composed. He's not as animated and immature. I know that was his biggest thing that I didn't really care for him. But, he was a young man. I forget these guys are so young.
Yeah. I think, too, and we put them on a higher pedestal. They're young men just like us.
And we judging them. But what was we doing at that age and not even in the league?
Right.
So I have the Joker, but if Joel gets it, then that's what it is.
Yeah. And then lastly, the coach of the year.
Yeah, coach of the year. Yep. Yeah.
I think both of us have expressed our love for this guy over the last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Monty Williams, I don't need to say anything more. Like it's Monty.
That's it. I don't, I think I always say this, and I'm biased. Anybody from the Popovich cloth,
here you go.
It's just it is what it is. It's endless. Udoka, Popovich cloth, Monty, Willie Green, Steve Kerr, Budenholzer, Thibodeau. It is what it is. So, but this is about Monty, and shout out to him. And then I looked at him once they beat the Pelicans and Willie Green was crying.
Bro.
And I was almost tearing up because of Willie.
I tweeted that, bro, because
I'm like, but you see the passion that Willie Green had, but then you see the respect that Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Monty had for Willie Green. and Monty, it's just his aura. I've never met the man, but every time he talks and he speaks, he wants to empower and uplift everybody.
Yeah.
Not just his team. He wants to be the best person he possibly can be and be a role model, a real role model. So I think it's overdue. He could have gotten it last year. And if there was a higher award for coaching, I think Monty should get it. So that's just how I feel. Even though, Monty, I'm going against you and your squad with Dallas, I got love for you, brother.
Yeah, like all that you said. But that scene after the Suns, beat the Pelicans, it had me choked up because, like, first of all, we don't get to see two brothers coaching at a high level against each other.
True.
That's number one. Number two, the media always wants to pit them against each other.
True.
But Monty, like you said, being the class act that he was, and, all of those guys being so close, I love the embrace that Monty had for Willie. Like, he could have did that in the back, but, he saw the emotion that Willie had, and he was a brother to him. Like, not an opponent. He embraced Willie, and that, like, I don't know, that was just really good for me to see. Like, I want to see more of that in sports. I think we should see more of that. This could go off into a whole nother podcast subject, but I just really love that. And Monty, like you said, every time Monty has the microphone, how he carries himself on the sideline is just a step above a lot of people. And, like, he got a lot of stuff from Pop, but I think the experiences that life has thrown at him has, made him into a better person. And you could clearly tell that. And you could tell with his team too. Like, they'll do whatever for Monty. Like, I think it was rough maybe in the beginning, but now they understand what he's all about, and they bought in, and you could tell. And he should be coach of the year easy.
And I don't want to slight his way of thinking or the type of man he is. When I mentioned Pop, I was just saying,
I got you.
Like little, because I agree his life experiences alone, and we've talked about that. We don't need to talk about it, but that for you to come back and coach, a lot of people would have been defeated after that and like, I'm just going to do something else or just shut down. He still has the same aura, and he embraces players and coaches and people with such a calm demeanor. It's
like a kind soul that he has.
That's what it is, man. It's just like certain people you like, damn, like he just has a different vibe to him.
Yeah.
He like his aura reminds me of Obama at times. Like, you meet him and then it's like, damn, and you just talk to him and you taking notes, and it just But I shout out to Monty Williams for real, and everything he's done and continue to do, because it's just amazing. And Willie Green, because they'll be back.
Shout out to Willie.
Zion's gonna be back, ready to go, slim down. They're gonna have a squad. You close to them. He slimmed down. He's talking about he's ready to resign.
That don't mean he's ready to put the beignets down.
When they had in that contract, line 3 will say something.
They need to be line 1, bold, 15 font. Man. You will need to lose weight.
He will.
Like, I agree with what Charles Barkley said. They have to get him a personal chef. They have to make everything like tailor-made for this guy, because he's too talented to be hurt every year. Like, really? I think he's played like 42 games in 3 years. That's ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see how you feel about this.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, as a basketball player, we wanted to see this guy in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And we haven't really, and he's just gotten bigger. Like, bro, you was already a big body Benz now.
Yeah, no.
You was suburban out there.
He'll be back. He's going to slim down. I know he's 300 plus. He'll be back 270. And then if he could keep that off. And then if he could get down to about 260, just a healthy weight for him. Everybody's size is different. I think he'd be all right.
I mean, but to be able to still jump the way he jumping, carrying all that weight is ridiculous.
I couldn't. As a big man, I couldn't even imagine that. When I was his size back in the heyday, I couldn't do that. I could touch the net and the bottom of the rim, and this man's doing windmills and maybe it's something in the beignets.
It's maybe
I should
powdered sugar they.
Maybe I should have been eating beignets back in my heyday.
Nah, that
instead of cheesy breads, I might have been all right. Oh man. All right. Well, that's it, man. Round two. You guys enjoy all these dope series. Hopefully they go as predicted. It's a bunch of games, 6s, 7s. Yeah. Did you mention the game 5?
Yeah, I did in your series.
That's disrespect. So we're gonna make sure we tweet Dorian and we DM when Luka and the and the boys beat them in 6. We're gonna make sure we're gonna flood it. Everybody online that was hitting me up, we're gonna flood his DMs, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Luka. Old man Ross, sweatsuits and fly kicks, spread love and not hate.
It's your man D Hill, the gift card bandit. Suns in 5. Get in the gym, get some jumpers, at least about 8.
We love y'all. Hardwoodbrand.com. Please comment, subscribe. We love y'all. We out of here.
Peace.